Hey everybody, welcome to class. The fourth and final part of our intermediate yoga series is all about the core and playing with handstanding a little bit. So before you get totally freaked out, a couple things I want to tell you. With the core work we're going to do today, you might want to have some blocks. If you have 2 blocks, bring them out. If you don't worry about it. With the core work, we're going to be doing some what I would consider highly functional, focused core work. So we're not just going to do a bunch of crunches that make us feel a burn but don't really do anything. We're going to be getting into the deepest muscles of our core, that transverse abdominis, which is the part that needs to be very strong, and we need to be able to tap into that when we want to go upside down and do handstands and all of that. So that's what we're going to be working on. As for your handstand work, I specifically wanted to say playing with handstands because that's exactly what we're going to do. I want you to completely put out of your mind the requirement of getting a handstand today. We are going to play. That is it. We're going to play with the idea of handstand. We're going to kick up and just mess around a little bit and make sure that we can kind of live with whatever fear we have. You know, like if we're a little nervous to go upside down, that's normal. We don't typically exist upside down, so it can be scary. So we're just going to kind of work around our fear and work on getting over the fear of going upside down. We're also going to work on learning how to fall and come out of a handstand safely without totally freaking you out, okay? So blocks, if you have them, put them nearby. Come to child's pose for now. Bring your feet together, your knees apart, and just slide the hips back. So walk the hands forward, stretching out the shoulders. And I want you to take one more breath here. And go ahead and come up. We're going to come to a forearm plank. You guys know my love for plank by now. You can clasp the hands or you can keep them flat on the mat, whatever works. So forearm plank, go ahead and come up to it. Tuck the tailbone slightly. Pull the chest forward and think of spreading your shoulder blades wide apart. Find your breath here. And like I was saying, you guys already probably know my love of plank because of how much it works. I think this is one of those poses that does so much for us. And, you know, you get kind of a lot of bang for your buck, so to speak. So I am a huge proponent of doing plank especially when you're working on getting your handstand or getting any inversion for yoga. This will do so much for your practice. You're almost done. 10 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your knees down. Go ahead and come to your hands. Flip over to the right side. Just as a front plank does a lot for us, so does a side plank. So we've got options. You can hold here. You can also stay on your forearm if that feels better. But stagger the feet, taking the left foot in front of the right. And you're going to dip the hip. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Flip it over. Again, you can come on the forearm here. You can hold your side plank or you can follow me and dip. Right foot staggers in front of the left. Dip for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Regular plank. Wrists under the shoulders, tuck the tailbone, chest comes forward slightly. Inhale fully. Exhale, lower. Inhale for cobra or up dog. Sit it back, downward facing. Drop the heels. Look forward to the hands, step the feet behind the wrists. Have a seat. I'm taking you all around the mat today. We're going to do kind of a different version of boat. Totally different version of boat, actually. So go ahead and come to boat pose like you normally would. lift the chest. Now I want you to lower, but I want you to stay here. So here you're kind of hollowing out the center of the body, tucking the chin. And now I want you to drop your weight over to the left. Pull your feet to the left, take your hands, move them over to the right. Now you're going to sweep to the center, move it the other way. So feet move to the right, hands move to the left. Sweep through the center, other way. Sweep through the center, other way. Feeling it? One more each way. Center, right, center, left. Pull it to the center, knees come in, have a seat. Take your blocks. Here's where you have options. If you have blocks, great. If you don't have blocks, I'll give you options for that too. But let's do with blocks first. Have them on either side of your hips, just so that the flat side is down. We're going to work on doing pickups, which are kind of miraculous, in my opinion, for the whole core, the part of the core that we're trying to target. So bringing your hands to your blocks, you can keep the feet straight out in front of you. As you exhale, you're going to lean forward and pull the hips up off the floor. So blocks undoubtedly make this easier. Without blocks, it's possible, but it will be more challenging. So without blocks, your hands come just not exactly at the butt, but just in front of the hips in the butt area. And you're going to lift the hips up. So really scoot the belly in towards the spine. You can hold for as long as you like. More challenging is to take the feet up with it. I'll try it with you. I admit this is not my strong suit. Let's do it together, okay? We're going to try to hold. So next time, lean into the hands. Hips come up, stop here, or take the feet. Feet down, hips down. If you got longer than me, tell me. I want to hear about it. Let's do it one more time, okay? We can do this. Hands down. So remember, if you can't get your hips up or your feet just will not come off the mat, walk your hands closer, or rather walk your hands further ahead. It makes a huge difference because the further back you are, it makes it impossible. Hands come forward. Ready? Let's do this. Hands forward. Exhale, hips up, feet up. Feet down, hips down. Again, if you beat me, I really want to hear it. And if you timed yourself, you better drop the time in the comments. So from here, feet come in. I'm all out of sorts now. Roll over the ankles, step it back, downward facing. We're going to do one more kind of sneaky bit of core work. So look to the hands. You can either step the feet or jump the feet up. From your forward fold, here's where the core work comes in. Bring the hands, you can kind of tent the fingertips so that they're just in front of the feet here. Walk them super close. Lean into the right foot. Keep the legs as straight as possible. You're going to lift the left toes up towards the forearm. Legs are straight, legs are straight. Drop the foot. Right side. Lift the right leg up towards the forearm. Drop it down. So here you're working different parts of the core. Go ahead and lift the left toes up. So you're kind of dragging the toes up the forearm. Take it down. Nice and slow. Right side, pull it up. Legs are straight, super straight. Take it down. Left side, drag it up. Take it down. One more each way. Right leg, down. Left leg, down. Okay, go ahead and stand up. Step to the back of your mat. Make sure you have space around you. And we're going to come right into our handstand playing. So like I said at the beginning, I want you to kind of put out of your mind of, okay, I'm going to get my handstand perfectly today. It's just going to happen. And da, 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 da. If it happens, thumbs up. If it doesn't, remember, these things generally take a very long time to get. So if you don't get it today, you have unlimited amounts of time to actually get it. So no hard feelings on yourself. Have fun with it and just think of yourself as just playing here, okay? So there's a couple things that I want to share with you first. The first thing is about falling. You do not have to fall out of handstand into a back bend. You should not fall out of handstand as a rigid lumber falling straight onto the ground, okay? Your falling out of handstand doesn't have to be traumatizing and painful and horrible and injurious. As you fall, if you're not sticking your handstand, I want you to remember to move your hands, okay? So when you're coming up, you don't have to fall straight backwards. You can walk your hands out. And I teach this a lot in workshops, and we go over it a lot more in detail, but think of doing a cartwheel, which maybe that even sounds crazy, but it helps. If you think of being able to walk your hands forward, you can just kind of walk out of your handstand and it's no big deal. So that's the first thing I want to share with you is falling, move your hands. The second thing I want to share with you is we're just going to focus on the fear element and playing with the getting into the handstand to begin with. So we're just going to focus on kicking our legs up, one leg at a time, not getting super fancy or crazy. We're just going to play. So let's do it together. I'm going to kind of walk you through my thought process as I do this myself, and then you can kind of interpret it in your own way and definitely share your experience, of course. So from your handstand, I want to make sure that we're not like getting any kind of running start to get into it. You want to use as minimal effort as possible. So think minimal effort to get the most result. So standing up, figure out which leg feels kind of like your stronger, more naturally leading leg, and you're going to plant the hands. From here, you're going to kick, let's say take the left leg straight up. Think of just leaning into the fingertips and drawing the left leg up and see where that gets you. So lean into the hands, left leg up. That's not so bad, right? We can work with that. So do it again with me, whichever leg feels good for you. Lean into the hands. Not so bad. So I think that's a really good baby step. Now, if you want a little bit more, we're going to add a little bit more power to that kick up. I'm going to move my chair. Okay. So adding a little bit more strength to that kick up. Leaning forward, now push off the bottom leg. Okay, not so bad. See, you don't have to worry about getting both legs up. We're just adding a little as we go. Lean forward, add a kick, and down. So when you do one leg, I think it feels a lot less crazy and frightening. So maybe try again, just one leg, and down. Side note, as you're doing this, you're looking directly between the hands. So don't try to look back or too far forward. You're looking between the hands. Another thing to keep in mind, similar to how we learned how to jump forward from down dog to forward fold, you're kind of stacking your joints as you go. So shoulders over wrists, hips over shoulders, toes stack over the hips. So I know that's kind of like a lot to remember, but that trajectory is what's going to allow you to come up, to stay up, and then your ribs kind of lock into place. So now we're going to try to get both legs up, but we're not going to worry about sticking it. You can cartwheel out of it, which I will do, and I will show you it's okay. So as you come down, you're going to kick up both legs. Add a little more strength. As you come up, okay, you can't keep it. Walk your hands out. So you're moving your hands. Don't get stuck in the idea that you have to keep your hands planted. We can cartwheel out together. Do it again. Your hands are going to come down. You're going to let yourself cartwheel out. So plant the hands. Kick up. Can't keep it. Move your hands. So if you allow yourself the freedom to move, I think it makes it a lot less scary. Now, if you want to try a couple times kicking up where maybe you try to get both legs up, see how it feels, and we can do it together. So leaning into the fingertips. First, you got to situate your shirt, I think that should be part of the official instruction. Planting the hands. Draw the belly in towards the spine. Maybe kick up. See what you got. Maybe take both legs up. Again, this is really whatever your practice looks like today. So taking both legs straight up if that works. Cartwheeling out again. We're just kind of playing with this together. My right leg is like, no thank you. One more. I think the biggest piece with learning handstands is really falling, because I think once we get comfortable cartwheeling out, once we get comfortable with the idea that falling doesn't have to be, like I said, this traumatic, horrible failure, it's literally just walking forward. I think that makes the process of learning a lot easier. Before we wrap up, I will also remind you that using the wall is totally your friend. So as you practice your handstands, as you feel like you maybe are feeling a little bit less strong in your shoulders, or you feel like you need that extra support, the extra kind of mental, it's okay. The wall is definitely something to not be afraid of using. So let yourself kick up and see how it feels to be upside down. See how it feels to align your body in that way, from that angle. And then doing it kind of freestanding will come a lot easier. So find a comfortable seat. Catch your breath if you've been talking for some reason along with me. Take a couple moments here and really just appreciate what your body has allowed you to do. Sometimes we get super overwhelmed by our goals, what we want to achieve, and we forget to focus on how far we've come. So if it was a big deal for you to just kick your feet up, upside down, take a second and appreciate that. The rest is coming, but appreciate what's here right now. And on your next breath in, pick the arms up overhead, press the hands together, and exhale them right down to the heart center. Let the eyes blink open. Namaste. So there you have it. I hope that not only this class, but this series made you feel more courageous in your practice and like you can tackle anything that comes your way in yoga or in life. I have loved doing this series with you, and I hope you've enjoyed it as well. There's something that makes me so immensely proud of, actually, that I wanted to share, and that's my 8-week yoga and fitness program, the Perfect Body Yoga Program. It's all about embracing who we are, because the perfect body is really just the healthiest version of the body you already have. And I would love to see you join the thousands of other people who have been transformed by this from the inside out. So if it's something you want to check out, I will put the link to it in the description below. So make sure you go check that out. Thank you so much for joining me through this series. I have loved spending time with you. I'll see you guys right back here next time.